let's have a look at this Arduino board. Atmel 328 is the heart of this board. And now, see, there are very few things on this one. Very few other things. If you carefully observe, see, there is a connector here, USB connector, with which you can connect this to a PC. You can connect this to a PC and program. All your programming and all other things will be via this USB cable. You can launch a Arduino. You can launch an Arduino environment on your PC. You can code and you can download programs to this board. And when you come to the next slide, see here you will see a barrel connector. It's a power connector. So once you have programmed this device, you can disconnect the USB. You can power it up via this connector. You can power it up via this connector so that it works as a standalone microcontroller. Now, if you again look at it, see the Arduino is organized in such a way that it has two sets of connectors, one on this side and another set on the other side. On one side you have pins marked 0 to 13, D0 to D. See, this side is digital IO pins. These are digital IO pins. So you can send out a 0 or a 1. You can also read a 0 or 1. You can input a digital value. You can output a digital value. See, this side is containing those IO lines. On the other side, you have 6 analog lines, A0 to ADC. See, there are 6 ADCs inside this. So you can read real values, real analog values from external world using these chips. And here you have if you see here, you will have some other connected power and other ground connections, etc. are here. So this is a typical organization of an Arduino board. So unfortunately, we cannot do it now. We cannot have a physical thing. So what we will do is we will look at a simulation for this. There is a very good simulator for Arduino, and you can experiment. You and your students can also experiment with that platform. So I will introduce that platform, and then we will do a couple of small experiments with that simulation. So in actual practice, I should have made you wire up this board onto a breadboard, and then you could have experimented or written a small piece of program. Unfortunately, that is not possible. So we will try out the simulation method. Simulation. What I use is a site called Tinkercad. Let me present that site now. Are you? Is it visible? Is it visible? Can somebody answer me? Okay, it is visible. Okay, fine. Okay, people are answering. Okay, fine. Okay. Now this is the Tinkercad website. Tinkercad. So they offer simulations for two things. One is 3D. See, this is basically from your Autodesk, AutoCAD, who manufactures AutoCAD. So most of us might have heard of AutoCAD. So this particular website is focused on 3D designs. 3D designs for building small projects, etc. So you can actually ask your students to learn the 3D design also. So I will be showing only circuit design for using this. Whereas other people, you can ask your students also to experiment other parts of the system. Okay. So what you should do is you should join. You should join this. So I am assuming that you have joined this after seeing my mail. Even if you have not, I will show how you join this site. So when you join this site, you will see three specific things. One is for educators, one is for students, one is for create a personal account. See, the Tinkercad is also organized like your Google Classroom or your Moodle. You can create classrooms. Students can join your class and experiment with. So I am not explaining that education part, online classroom part. that it is left to explore. So what you do is you create a personal account. You create a personal account. You have three options. You can log in with Google. You can go. You can even sign up. There are options. This is standard procedures from typical websites. So what I will do is I will sign up with Google. I will sign up with Google. So this is bringing up. So you have to agree with the Autodesk conditions. So continue. Then you will join Tinkercad. Okay, I think I have joined with my principal account, and you can also try out in parallel if you want. So I will be a bit slow. Secondly, the Tinkercad website is also a bit slow. This is heavily using that JavaScript and other things like graphics. So the site itself is slightly slow. So I had asked you to sit with a reasonably good internet connection. Otherwise, you may not be able to follow the exercises that I give. Even if you have an issue, don't worry, and get the lessons offline, and you can try it later. So what I will do is we will explore this website. Now let's see. So we have logged in. On the website. You have essentially Autodesk is a 3D design company, and the circuit simulation is only secondary. But if you see on the left page, see you have first thing you have 3D designs. Second thing you have circuits. Then you have something called code blocks also, which is another easy programming mechanism. You can just plug and play if you are not very familiar with coding and all. You can plug and play with this and build codes. So this is the typical site here. And on the top, you have the gallery. If you click on the gallery, you will see projects people have done. People have done with AutoCAD. Say let us look at some of them. See, these are the typical kind of things people have designed and contributed. See, using this kind of 3D things you can simulate. Maybe this will be quite interesting for your students, at least for your kids. See, you can ask your kids to explore the Tinkercad gallery, and you have the things like blog, learn, teach, etc. here. Maybe you can look at some of the circuits also here that people have done. Once you have explored the website, I suggest you to come back to the original entry point. Here, if you can click on the top, you will see Autodesk Tinkercad. My cursor is right now there. If you click there, it will go back to your entry page where you can design your circuits or your things. Now let us look at circuits. So once you have explored the environment, I suggest you to look at the circuits here. See here, circuits. So I have clicked on circuits and I get a new window. Is there any issue in following me? Can somebody answer or some kind of
no, sir, we can
message can you give?
Sir, we can follow you.
So yes, you follow. Okay. Fine. Okay, fine. Yeah. Now you create a new circuit. So we are going to experiment circuits. So let us create a new circuit here. So I have clicked for the new circuit. So maybe it will take it on to little bit of time because the net connectivity and the entire things may be slightly slow. So once you have done this, this is your workspace. This is your workspace. See, this workspace has a name. Say Arduino 1. So let us put it Arduino 1. Okay. Now again, let us explore this workspace. So here you have all this one. You can delete things, you can redo, undo, you can comment, etc. on the top left. On the right, top right, you have things for buttons for coding, simulation, and exporting and sharing. And if you come down, all standard electronic components available for simulation. You have resistors, you have LEDs, etc. We will do some of them. We'll try to do some of them. Then you have, if you click here, you have circuit assemblies, or there are other things also. If you take at a full all set, you will see input devices like slide switches. So these are the things you generally find in your lab. See different kinds of LEDs, different LED strips, motors. So all these things are available. Temperature sensors. See, typically for IoT or robotic lab, see, these are needed. But you can, in this times of Corona, you can actually use this facility to teach people. Okay. Now our aim is to experiment with the Arduino. So if you come down here, you can see an Arduino here. What I did was, I just clicked on this Arduino and pasted this to my workspace. So you can move around this thing like this. So you can, if you have a scroll mouse, you can make it bigger. You can explore. So now let us, I had shown you the actual Arduino. Now have a look at the diagram here on the screen. On the diagram, you will see Atmega 328. This is your microcontroller. And this is digital pins. See here, you have your digital pins here. See numbered 0 to 13. You have some reference ground, etc. here. And see, some of the pins are marked with a tilde. These are called PWM pins. So where you can get PWM output from the controller. And on the bottom side, you have A0 to A5. A0 to A5. These are the 6 ADCs, 6 ADC inputs you can use. And here you have all your power lines. You have your ground, a couple of grounds. You can have 3.3 volts. You have reset pins, then I reset or some other pins which may not be quite obvious for right now, but they have also their own uses. So this is a typical Arduino. Typically, this is the typical Arduino. So what we will do now, we will try to program this one with some code. There is an inbuilt LED wired to Arduino. So on to pin number 13. This is your pin number 13. On the pin number 13, there is an LED wired on the board itself, and this is a test LED. You can always test your board or your programming with this L. You can see there is an L written here on the board also. If you look at the board, you will find that LED here, physical LED here. So you have the 13 pin. This is internally wired to this L. So what you set pin number 13 to high, the LED will glow. If you set the pin number 13 to low, the LED will be off. So the first program that we will try out is to simulate the blinking of an LED. That is the inbuilt LED on pin number 13. Whenever you pick up an Arduino and place it here, Tinkercad will put some bare minimum code. It will write some bare minimum code for you. So that you can start writing from that point. So let us click on the code button here. See, I'm going to click on the top right code button. So you will see something like that. Don't worry, there is nothing mysterious about this. This is called code blocks. You can actually write code using this environment. So I click here on the blocks, near the block. You will see there are two other things: box plus text and text. So let us click on the text. And now it is asking whether you want to continue. So let us continue. Now, once you have continued, so I'm making the entire screen, my screen bigger, so that you can read it. So can you see this code on the screen, your screen? Can somebody answer? Can you see? Yeah. So your Arduino is here. Your code is here. What I did was I took clicked the code, took up here text instead of blocks. I took text. So whenever you place an Arduino on the screen worksheet, this bare minimum code is auto-generated. I'll explain what does it mean. Arduino programs are generally written in a variant of C programming language. So those who are familiar with C programming language may find this strange. The code that is written here is strange. So there is some difference between programming a microcontroller and programming in a real programming language. Arduino programming language is a heavily modified variant of C programming language. All the C syntax, structures, etc., will work, but you have to be a little bit careful regarding many things. An Arduino program has two sections. One is called a setup, and the other one is called loop. There are two sections. First section is called a setup, and the second section is called a loop. The setup section executes whenever you switch on the Arduino. So if you see the board on the left, you can see a red button on the top. I'm highlighting that.
Good morning, students.
Setup.
बेटा गूगल क्लासरूम पे आपका एक असाइनमेंट आया है जिसे आप अभी 1 आवर के अंदर से सॉल्व
this particular function
मुझे अभी सेंड
run
क्लियर है
whenever
फाइल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ऊपर
the
क्लियर
Arduino switch on power, whenever Arduino is switching on power, or whenever you press a reset button. See, this function will run only for once. That is only once in the lifetime of a program. It will be run only for one time. And the next portion is called a loop. This is actually an infinite loop. This is an infinite loop. Once the setup is done, or once the program in the setup is over, Arduino will switch to this particular infinite loop. You can think of this loop function as an infinite loop. So whatever is written inside this will be executed. So I have highlighted the 4 lines. See, this will be executed. Then Arduino will go back to the initial portion and again repeat this. So this is an infinite loop. So whatever is written inside the code here, that will be repeated forever until you switch off or you do something else. So this is the typical structure of an Arduino program. Arduinos have been a market leader since say last for 15-20 years. So their language has become one of the default standard language in which people write code for embedded systems or IoT edge devices. So there are other languages too. I agree. There are things like MicroPython or things like that. Still, this is something which is commonly used, and it is very easy. As teachers, it is very easy for us to make people write on this to prove concepts or as for small projects, etc. So as teachers, you should have a broad idea about the programming language. I don't think everybody should be very adept in this coding and all, but you should have an overall idea how such a microcontroller works. To complete the coding, you should burn into the microcontroller. The microcontroller has a flash memory. Just like your flash drive, it has a flash memory. You can upload the program, or you can flash the program to this microcontroller on the board. Controller is flashed, so you can use it as a standalone device. So your USB connector is used to flash this controller. Now let us have a look at again at the code. So I told you there are two sections, setup and loop. Now let us look at setup. Setup has only just one line here, just one line. So setup is generally for setting up or preparing the device for communication or that initial playground it is providing. So here we are doing only one small line, pin mode 13, output. So we are in fact we are setting pin number 13 here. See here you have pin number 13 here to an output line. So I told you there are 14 digital I/O lines on the board. So you can set them to send out data or get data from outside. You can send data to the to outside, or you can receive data. So you are telling the controller that we will be using line number 13 or pin number 13, D13, as an output pin. So that is the only line we say in setup. Now coming to the loop, coming to the loop statement. So when you switch, when the microcontroller switches on, the microcontroller is informed that this is the pin number 13 is an output line. Now we will come to a loop. Here we do two things. First, we will set the pin number 13 to high. Pin number 13 to high. There's an LED wired inside the microcontroller. That LED will blink. I mean, it will be set to high. That LED will be switched on. So that is, note that each line is following C syntax. So you need to have semicolon, and your comments and all other stuff are like variable declaration or all those things are from C programming. I'm not going very deep into that. So you switch on the LED. Now we will ask the microcontroller to wait for 1 second. We will again instruct the microcontroller to set that 13 to low. That means the logic level low. The LED will be off. Again, we are waiting for 1000 milliseconds. So 1 cycle is over. You switched on the LED, you waited for 1 second, switched off, again waited. So your LED has blinked once. Now you have to repeat for infinite number of times. So the loop statement will take care of it. You need not do anything. Automatically, once you complete the 4 lines, see, this will automatically go back, and again this will be LED will be switched on, and this goes on. So this is the typical program. Now let us simulate it. So for simulation, you will see on the screen there's a start simulation button. So let us start simulation. So it is initializing. If you see on the board that USB connector has been plugged in, you can see that. And if you carefully look at my screen, you can see that this LED is blinking. You see, I've just made that a little bigger. See this, we have that LED is blinking. Okay. So this is the first program. This is a hello world program of any Arduino. So anywhere if you go for Arduino kind of stuff, people will show this. See, I know some of you might have already done this. Let us stop the simulation. Let us stop the simulation. And so let us go back to the components. So now we have simulated. We know how to code the Arduino, how to simulate it. Now let us bring in a breadboard. Let us wire some components here. So I'm bringing in a breadboard here. See, my aim is to wire up an LED and an external LED. Now my code was to run the internal LED. Now what I will do is I will wire up an external LED. And then make I will wire up an external LED and then make it run using a small modified program. Now I have brought in a breadboard here. See, your breadboard, those who are not from electronic background, see, breadboard has lines wired like this. You can just see this. See, this top line is sometimes designated as power lines, and this is for, maybe you can use this line for your ground line, and this is positive and negative you can bring in. See, these are all connected in a single line, and here you have the lines connected like this. If you can see my cursor, you can see the connected lines. So those from electronics or computer science and electrical background may be knowing the use of breadboard. Others, I don't know. I don't know whether what is the composition of your class itself. That is one bad thing about your online class. You don't have any direct interaction. Let us wire up an LED and do the same experiment with an external LED. Okay, let us find out an LED here. Okay, let's find out an LED here. So I am picking an LED and dropping it here. Dropping it here. Okay, you can change the color. Maybe I will change the color to something like orange or so. Okay, red will be fine. You can change the color. Okay. Now on the LED, if you see the LED, if you click here, LED has two connectors, an anode and a cathode. You see, when I click on the pin, it shows anode. And if I click on the cathode or the other pin, it shows cathode. Now LED will be switched on when you apply a positive voltage to the anode and a positive voltage to the anode with respect to cathode. So that is from your electronic classes or basic electronic classes. Most of us will be familiar with it. Okay. Now you need a resistor here, because I will tell you what is the reason. Your LED has a cut-in voltage of 1.5 volts. So your Arduino is powered with 5 volts. Your Arduino pins are digital. All digital pins produce 5 volts. If you directly apply to if you directly 5 volts to the LED, in a real world scenario, LED will burn out. So you have to drop the remaining 3.5 volts somewhere. So what we will do is we will choose a small value resistor, something like 220 ohms. It's a small resistor. You can change the resistor value here. See, look at the screen. I am changing the value of the resistor. Okay. Now even the color code has changed. You can see this. This has become a 220 red, black. Now here the ground pin I am bringing in here. I'm bringing the ground pin here. Maybe you can use a different color wire. Now let us take the pin number 12. See, we were using pin number 13 here. See, we will connect it from pin number 12. I am drawing this here, wiring this here, and maybe, yeah, I can bring into this line. So maybe we can use a different color for this, red. Okay, so this is my circuit. I have wired a small circuit here, external LED here. So here is my resistor, which is grounded via this line. See here, from here I have taken a ground here. Here from pin number 12, I have chosen and taken a wire and fixed it up here. This is exactly like the way in which you do in your lab. You say the same thing students do. Students also work out using the same thing. They will wire up an LED, they will take up. Compared to the actual world, this is very easy. But in real practice, when you go to your lab, you will not find other wires, you will not find LEDs, you will have confusion with the polarity of the LED. So simulation is nowhere near a real practical experience. That I will tell you. Simulation is for just knowing things, but for in the lab, you should get a lot of practical experience. Maybe the shape of the LED will be something else, the color will be something else, a lot of other things will. Arduino will also look like something else.
Sir,
okay.
I am a man
the
of
breadboard will be wired differently, or all these things are there. There are n number of things you should worry when you are in a lab environment. Okay.
Hello,
now,
sir. Hello.
I hope people are attending, and maybe
Hello.
some of you have understood what I've done. What I've done so far.
Hello, okay. Sir. Hello. Hello.
Okay, people. Okay, I'll just look at some of the comments people have made. Then we will go to that. Okay, maybe people are saying the initializing take a lot of time from myself. That is quite natural. Anamika Chowdhury has told me that initialization takes a lot of time. So that is quite natural, because I told you the entire, either you should have a good connection, and you should in fact, the Tinkercad website is also slightly little bit slow.
I have a query,
So all types of sensors are
Hello.
available in this. Okay. So there are some sensors. I think you can build your own components here. Okay. Now executed. Somebody has done it. Okay. Fine. Okay. It is very good for teaching. Okay. I will come back to my code using. Okay, I think I can turn off video, audio, clear. Okay, I hope I will go back. I hope I am clear till now. Now let us modify the code. So we have the code already. And you can actually then slightly modify the code to run this experiment. So here I am taking again the code. There is only small change required, because we have changed the pin to 13 to 12. So we will change it everywhere. See here, 12, and here again 12. So that I made the necessary change here. I have changed the code so that the LED on the pin number 12 should blink. I hope the code is clear. I will wait for a second so that people can look at it. Okay. Okay. Now let us hide the code. Let us start simulation. Let's start. It's again yeah. What happened? It's not switching on. Oh yeah, it's switching off. So those who are experimenting with the Tinkercad, they can try this. If you are experimenting with this one, you can try this. So this is the basic thing. Once you are past this, everything is easy. See, you can simulate a lot of things. You can even you have I think your digital things are also there. Like so, let us have a look at what other components you have, what other things you can have. See, you have resistors, all the standard things, Zener diodes, inductors. Now, for the input, you have push buttons, you have potentiometers, photoresistor, photodiode, light sensor, ultrasonic sensor, and PIR sensor. This is where the person, somebody comes near you, this is that one that detects it. Tilt. If you this is one thing which most of the people with bike use, the projects with bike people say, they always say tilt sensor, then temperature sensor, gas detectors, keypad, and so for output you have all LEDs, LED arrays, many things like that. These are most of the things are available in market also. You have your LCDs, 7-segment displays, and powering up you have all these things, breadboards, microcontrollers. So you have at present you have 2 microcontrollers. One is the Arduino Uno, and the other one is Atini 85. This is another microcontroller. You have all the instruments. You can have multimeter, you can have power supply, function generator, oscilloscope. Then all the integrated circuits you have. You have say basic circuits that are there. Optocoupler. Then you have some transistors. Then maybe coming down, motor controller. You have logic gates. See, these are your logic gates from Digital Electronics lab. Basic logic gates you can actually simulate some of them. See, actually you need only this much. The rest people can wire up and build. Maybe your count days, your half-hour days, all these things. Running digital lab also you can use this. At least basic experiments in digital lab. I haven't experimented with the op-amp and all. Op-amp, I think I have seen op-amp here, but transistors and op-amp is 741 is here. I haven't experimented. Some of you can try out if you are taking courses using op-amps and all. you need only this much components. You can just simulate. People have a visual feeling of your lab. I just stop presenting. Can somebody tell me any of the issues faced by whether you have done this, or we will have a small interactive session. So how about 8051 microcontroller? That is one question. No, 8051, it doesn't work with this one. It doesn't work with this one. If you have any questions, you can just okay. How can you connect device more power rating like this? See, you for a power rating, you need a relay. I don't know whether relay is there. Otherwise, say simulation. If you want to blink a big light, you need you can do is there is an optocoupler there. There's an optocoupler. You can decouple your circuit with the remaining thing. Then you can put up a relay, a high voltage relay, which can switch at 12 volts. So you look at how the relay mechanism works. Okay, that is from Professor K. Sahu. No executor. Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi. Right now, Raspberry Pi is not available. There is some other tool with which you can work with Raspberry Pi. I will try to demonstrate that tomorrow. There are some other tools with which you can effectively use during this Corona times. I will try to demonstrate it tomorrow. Okay, those who have done, please comment. Otherwise, those who have not done, don't worry. It is not a normal regular class like our FDPs are always fun. Maybe if it was a real interactive class, you also might have enjoyed it more, like tinkering with some of the components, some of the things. So that's experience is different. Okay, that is from Gaurav Viswas. Gaurav, the Raspberry Pi is more like a mini computer. Raspberry Pi is more powerful. You can do a lot of things. Here, Arduino, the problem with Arduino is that Arduino is very limited. It's for very cutting edge devices. It has only very limited number of flash, 32K flash, and maybe very little of RAM. Its RAM is something like 1K or so, very little. You cannot declare huge. We cannot run huge things. You cannot run image processing. You cannot do. These are for very edge kind of things. So small devices. It's a very small thing, but it is as a teaching tool or as a tool with which you can interact. It will be something very attractive for students. How to change the name of the circuit? Okay. You will see then on the top. Okay, I will show that, and I will again present that. That is a simple question. Okay, let me present it again. Present the screen. Okay, present entire screen. Okay, allow. Okay, great. Here. So here, in order to change the name of the circuit, see here, you click on that one. That you can see that right now. I have clicked on that Arduino one I have written. I can just click on that string and change the. Also, it will be a good practice if you click on any of the components here. You will see there is some breadboard small name. There you can actually name components, resistor, or if you have a resistor here, maybe you can name this. Let me stop the simulation. It's running. So if you click on the resistor, when you are really doing a real thing, a real circuit, you should say R0, something like this. You should name it like this, so that later on in your circuit reference you have that R0. So you will not have 220 off. Instead, you will have R0. So here some more things are here. You can export once you are done the circuit. You can export it to a board PCB layout. You can directly export it to a board format compatible with the Eagle design. There is a PCB design software called Eagle. You can actually export this to Eagle, and you can build a PCB so that it fits exactly into this one, the top of this one. You can build it like that. It is called that kind of PCBs are called Arduino shields. You can build that. Okay. Okay, let me again stop. Operation is not in your mail. How to copy? You sent some circuits in mail. Okay, I am coming to that. I am coming to that now. how to copy. So once you have done this, the rest of the experiments I have sent you in mail. You have to open it up and experiment. So I will tell you what you have to do. You can actually share this to Tinkercad. See, whatever you do on the Tinkercad, you can share with the students, you can share with public. So now next thing, I will show how to open up that thing. Okay, that link here in the comment box. See here, I had sent a set of experiments yesterday. See, you can see those experiments here. Oh, okay. Fine. I'm not. So on that chart window, I have said on the chart window, I will share my screen. Wait a second. On the chart window, hope you can see the list of experiments or some link I had sent yesterday. I hope everybody can see that. Now let me share the screen. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this link. So that will open up. Hope you are able to see this. This is Tinkercad is waiting for that thing to populate. So these are the experiments that I sent. Can you see this? Can somebody comment? Can you see the list that I sent here on my screen? Yeah, let's see. People, you can see that. Okay, fine. Now you will take up the experiments one by one. So the first experiment I have done. Maybe we will take the second experiment here. Second experiment. What you should do is you should click on this. Then you will get this one. The screen. Are you able to see? Or you should be able to do this? Are you able to see? Okay, fine. Now here you see copy and tinker. You should do copy and tinker. Click here. So this will be my experiment will be copied to your workspace. My experiment, the experiment that I set up will be copied to your workspace. So this is just a Arduino, a copy of Arduino. See here, that has come on the top. It is written as copy of Arduino. So the original was done by me in some other account. When I copied, it came to my account. I can tinker, I can modify it, etc. So this way. You can also share with your students your experiments. You ask students to set up an experiment, do them, ask them to do experiment, and finally a real properly working thing you can share like this. At least some of you have copied experiment 2. Experiment 2 to your own workspace. Let me look at the chat window whether there is any issue with the. Okay, how are you connecting with wires? So wires are just you can just click on the screen. So Sahu sir, there is nothing in it. See here you can just. I hope you are able to see. This is essentially if you just if you just click somewhere here on the breadboard and draw, this will be automatically there will be a wire. If you click on any component point, any resistor or capacitor or anything, even if you place a 555 here, you put a 555 or some other thing here. If you go to that pin of this chip, you will see the red. There's a red dot. So there you can click and drag. So that will give you a wire like this. You can drop a wire somewhere here. Okay. So that is a question from Professor Sahu. how to cancel a wire. Okay, fine. See, sir, for cancelling a wire, you move the cursor over this. See here. See, if you can see the window, I will make it bigger. See, I'm moving the cursor. See here. Click here. That it is highlighted. On the top left, there's a delete button. And now my cursor is on delete. Click that. That wire is gone. Yeah, this way. This way. Okay, second experiment. There is nothing. It's just an Arduino I have placed in which. But if you look at the code, see, the code also I have shared. I have shared the code also. I request you to click on the code window and experiment the code that I have shared. So when you are experimenting with things like Arduino or any embedded device, you need to monitor what is happening inside. So because this device does not have any kind of monitoring mechanism. We don't have any monitoring mechanism. We don't have a display with this. This is just a standalone board. You are sending some code and it is blinking or doing something. You are displaying, maybe it is like it is doing some work at the edge. So we don't have any way to monitor this. For monitoring things, so most of the time, the platform will provide some kind of a serial interface to the board. So this is the case with even with Raspberry Pi or Arduino or your 8051. Many of these things, many of these controller platforms, you can read the data serially. So in a real Arduino programming environment, you can when you are developing code or you're developing a system, the things happening inside the controller or inside the board can be monitored on your computer via a serial connection to the device. There is something called a serial connection available for this. The serial connection will collect data from inside the controller and sent via the USB to the computer to which it is connected. This is mainly for debugging. When you are developing a system, you may be writing something and the microcontroller will be behaving something, saying something else. In order to test that, we generally use a serial interface. So that serial interface is quite visible. If you look at the Arduino board, I'm just making it a little bigger. You will see TX, RX here, TX and RX here. This TX and RX is actually serial interface to this controller, and this via this TX RX, this is connected to USB. You can read on your PC the actual what is happening. Now here, since we are simulating, this is also simulated here. This is also simulated. So if you are having a real device on the Arduino programming platform, there's a serial monitor. But here also, in our Tinkercad experimental platform, you have a serial monitor here. You can see this on the bottom. You see a serial monitor. You can click on that. When you click on that, the serial monitor window starts up. So this is actually a window through which you can monitor what is happening inside your Arduino. So I've written a small program. I've written some small program with which you can monitor or you can print something to the serial window. So this is very quite simple. That the code is given there. You can very easily read this. So in the setup module, I have written serial.begin 9600. So this means this initializes the serial port to read or transmit at 9600 baud rate. So that what is written inside as 9600 is the baud rate at which your computer your serial port should communicate with Arduino. Your USB serial USB will be communicating via at this very low baud rate. This is very probably you might be aware of that baud rate and the bit rate, etc. I'm not detailing, but if you are not sure, you can just Google up what is a baud rate. So 9600 is sometimes a very low bit rate. The Arduino can work at higher rates, like much better baud rate. It doesn't matter for us. It doesn't matter because see 9600 is something which people commonly use. So don't disturb it. That first line initializes your serial port. And now let us come to the loop section. Loop section has couple of lines. One is serial println. So what serial dot println, whatever you print or serial dot whatever you do, that will be reflected to your serial port. That's you can input data. You can input data via serial port. You can print or you can monitor things. So serial println will print this particular line and send that result back to your computer, your serial port. So this particular line, serial.println, this particular line of code, see, I'll highlight it here. This particular line of code is run inside your microcontroller, not on your computer, but it is inside. It is run inside your microcontroller. It is inside, and the result is sent back to your serial monitor, which is on your computer. Okay, and then we will wait for some time. So let us simulate this. This is nothing. It will just print see hello world. Wait for some time, and again print it. This is how you. This is how you make. This is how you monitor things inside your microcontroller. So that is the simplest experiment you can do. I hope people can do it. You can just the syntax for println is like your printf statement in C. You can just Google up. See, Arduino has several examples. If you look at Arduino website, examples. If you search for Arduino examples, the Arduino tutorials, there are a lot of tutorials available on the website. So you can actually run each of these things. You can run each of this ones in Tinkercad. You can copy the code. You can see many things are here. So you can ask your students to look at some of these projects and monitor. Say this is something which people these days are in huge demand. Automatic dispenser of sanitizer. So people have done that. There are actually people have done that 3D printing. The Arduino and all these devices they have done. They have written code also. You can actually your students can simulate or you can even build it using this kind of a 3D printed mechanism. So I request all of you to look for tutorials on internet. A lot of materials are available. There is nothing fancy about it, and everything is known. People, if you ask for help, there will be many people who will be helping out. Okay, now that is our second experiment. I hope at least some of you have done. Okay, real scenario, how you do the experiment. In a real scenario, how do you do the experiment? Okay, so I will answer questions. Okay, let me stop presenting. So the first, okay, that is Raghavendra Pradhan has answered somebody. And the first question from Gaurav Biswas is Bluetooth available for Arduino Uno? As such, no. So, but you can actually buy something like Okay, let me. I will show what you can do. What you can where you get Bluetooth. If you want Bluetooth, what you should do is. So there are many things like. Okay, you can search for Arduino Bluetooth. Module. See, many Bluetooth modules are available here. Like, see, small modules like see here, and some example tutorials also here. There are small modules. Say, if you look at these videos, people you can see some small module available. You can easily interface it with your Arduino module, so that you can control with laptops, or you can control with this one. Maybe on Google you will get a better result. Google, okay, Arduino Bluetooth. Yeah. This kind of modules are available. See, these are easily available, maybe around 100 200 rupees. Yeah, people are selling it 230 rupees or so. You can buy one and you can interface to this is also a good experiment. Students can do this. Okay, that is one question. And other one was that in a real scenario, how will you do this experiment? Okay, that is a very good question. In a real scenario, okay, I will stop presenting now and I will show how this is done. Just 1 second. Stop presenting. In a real scenario, I'll show the real scenario here. See, so let me take up this Arduino. This is my Arduino. So I'll show you. So I'm connecting this to my laptop. So I'm connecting this to my laptop. Let me find out a free bot. Yeah, when I plug in this LED, some I think blink is. I think I have already programmed blink. There is some LED here. This is power indicator. This is the other LED that I mentioned. I have connected my board to my laptop. Now let me go. Let me share my actual Arduino environment here, and I'm going to present it again. I'm going to present my entire screen. Okay, get entire screen. Present now. Okay. Now the Arduino programming environment is on my screen. So you can actually run from your computer. You can run Arduino. Arduino will be an icon like this. If you have installed, you can install both in Windows as well as in Linux. So I'm using Linux, and on my Linux machine, this is once installed. This will show up as a icon like this. I am clicking this, so this will run up. I mean, this will come up, and it is coming up. The Arduino programming environment is coming up. Yeah, in a real environment, two things you have to do. See, you should click on Sketch. I mean, tools. You should tell. So this environment is built for entire Arduino family. In the Arduino family, there are hundreds of boards, hundreds of boards like this. See, if you can see my screen. Some are listed here. Arduino Uno, Arduino Mini Chip, Mini, Leonardo, Mega. Load of variations are available, and the one I am holding is called Uno, and this is the most popular one. So what you should do is you should choose what board you are using. It's already chosen. And say what board you are choosing. Now, secondly, you should choose the serial port in which you have connected your serial port. Your port is here. You can so when I have connected this, my Arduino is connected to the USB. That is why it is that USB 0 is connected. And if you are doing at your college or at your home, maybe you will get a different USB. And if you have doubt regarding this, either mail me or search the internet. I'll tell you how to configure the port if your port doesn't show up. If you are using a Windows machine, most probably it will not show up. You will have to install some drivers and all. Okay, this is something you should do. Once you have done that, you have your some sample code. This is the LED blinking code itself. LED blinking code itself you're seeing on the screen. Now on the top left, you have certain buttons. You can compile, you can verify the program whether there is any syntax error or so. So it is compiled. Then there is an upload button. You can just click upload. This will upload to the system. Upload to the system. Okay, I will show that uploading function again after stopping the presentation. The screen presentation I will stop now. Wait a second. Okay. So I am going to upload the code again. Upload this code again and see what happens. So when I am going to upload this, so I hope you are able to see the Arduino. So it will blink momentarily, and it will. It's a momentary thing only. Just it will upload. They see if you carefully look, there is a small another LED blinking in between. And again and again uploading. So that uploading is indicated there. So once uploading is done, you can take it out and connect to any other device. And one more thing, in the real scenario, I will show that serial monitor thing also. Let me present again. So I hope you are able to see that Arduino window. So there is a serial monitor here, somewhere here. Okay, wait. Yeah. On the top right, you can see. Now I have placed my cursor on that serial monitor. If you are watching that, the serial monitor will come up. This is exactly like this. So this will right now, if I write that code here and upload, the code will be run on the Arduino in my hand, and this will be the that output will be taken via this USB to this window, and here it will be printed. It will be printed on the computer. This is how you monitor, and then while running, see the program running inside the Arduino will print back to the computer via the serial monitor. This is the actual scenario. Okay. Any other questions? Now break for 10 minutes or so. Have your tea, have your virtual tea, and come back.